Welcome, everybody. This is actually our second live author reading for the day. It is our second annual Once Upon a Readathon event. You can help us to change a child's story today, and that's what this is all about. We're so grateful to the authors that are with us every day, helping us to raise awareness and funds for our mission. There's always ways that you can get involved. You can still create an individual page or a team page. You can promote reading as we invite participants to read for 30 minutes a day during the month, but it just doesn't have to be May. Literacy is so important. So that's what we're here. We're promoting literacy and the need for all children to have access to books. That's the most important thing that we're doing here today. For more info on how you can get involved, we're posting the link in the fundraising platform and the calendar of events in the comments section. So we hope you will join us. I am super excited today because we have Renee Winters here. And hi, Renee, how are you?
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited. Renee has been in the educational field for over 25 years as a teacher and school administrator. She's devoted to recognizing the strength of all women. And, she has been tremendous effort in everything that she's been doing. Although she did dabble in poetry and art, she is very excited to write and publish her first children's book about girls and their love of science and discovery. The Angie Wonders series, which you will fall in love with, and every child should be reading this because it's so good. It's inspired by her daughter's love for science, exploration, and inquiry. She hopes to inspire girls in the areas of STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. Your daughter will want to join Angie Wonders as she explores the world around her through adventures in discovery. And thank you so much, and welcome to the Book Fairies Facebook Live.
Yay, yay. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be with you once again. I enjoyed our presentation last year, and I'm so happy to be back once again to be a part of this wonderful organization. And I'm also so happy to share my third book in the series, Math is Everywhere. So without further ado, let me tell you a little bit about myself, and we're going to get started with our wonderful book.
That sounds awesome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you read your book, and then I will mute myself and my video. And when I come back on, we'll do some Q&A.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, so my name is Renee Winters, as she stated earlier. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, and I'm the mother of two children. One is Alec, one is Angelina. And Angelina, of course, is the inspiration for the Angie Wonders series. I have been in education for 28 years as a teacher and administrator. And the Angie Wonders series is really written to inspire our girls into the areas of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's such an important thing. So I thought that best way to get to our little girls was to write a book that they can enjoy while they were in elementary school. So this is what this is all about. So my main character, Angie Wonders, I love the fact that she's in a dress, and I made sure she was in a dress because I wanted girls to realize that they could be dressed in anything. They don't have to be in a suit. They don't have to be in pants. They could be in anything they want to be in, and really, 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 enjoy science, enjoy technology, enjoy engineering, enjoying math, whatever it is, they can enjoy those things in whatever they wear. All right. So that's why I thought it was so important that she wear just something casual, and pink too. Yeah. So are you ready to start the story? I am. So we're going to start the story now. Get ready. Angie Wonders, Math is Everywhere. And that is the cover of my book. First title page, illustrated by Nanana Afu, and he is a wonderful illustrator out of Nigeria. So thank you. And this book is dedicated to all those little girls that are filled with wonder. And, something that I always say when I'm talking to girls is to explore and be more. And that's really something I push, explore and be more. Don't be afraid to explore the world around you, to get to know things, to step out of your comfort zone. That's what you have to do to be the very best that you want to be. So explore and be more. So that's what this book is dedicated to, all those little girls that are filled with wonder, just like Angie. And I always write a letter to the parents because this is a partnership. I want you guys to be a part of working with your girl, your daughter, to be her very best. All right, first page, let's go. Angie loved to count. She thought math was cool. She learned about adding and subtracting when she went to school. As she awoke, numbers bounced in her head. She counted and giggled as she sat in bed. She looked out her window into the morning sky. How many birds can I see fly by? There's 1, 2, and 3, that's including the one sitting in the tree. She then looked at the clouds in the sky. There were so many beautiful shapes floating so high. Their shapes were like turtles, bunnies, and a fluffy hen. She counted the clouds up to the number 10. And I left those things there for you to be able to count it too. You can count those birds and you can count the clouds. Counting was easy and adding was too. Numbers were everywhere, even her room. She counted the books on her shelf, and that was fun. Easily starting with the number 1. Angie often counted the steps on the stairs. The number was 12, and this was exact. There was no need to add and no need to subtract. As she hit the last step, her brother called her name. Angie, let's go. We have things to do. Today is a special day for me and you. How could she have forgotten? How could she be late? Today was Mommy's birthday. She's turning 48. Her brother Alec was standing at the door with a smile on his face. He was ready to drive them from place to place. They had to buy a gift and make a cake too. There were so many tasks that they had to do. They arrived at the store, a jewelry shop. Angie had counted the signs that they passed each block. The store was not far. They had to agree. They picked a lovely gift. It was beautiful to see. Angie counted the change. She held it in her hand. It was $5, 2 dimes, and a penny too. She loved counting money because it was cool. When they arrived home, it was time to make the cake. Angie helped her big brother as they started to bake. It was a surprise for Mommy, a very special time. She looked at the measuring cup and counted the lines. 1/4 too little, now 1/2 would be 5. But right before it was time to eat, she set the table under the kitchen light. How many forks and spoons would she need tonight? She placed them around the table in front of everyone's seat. She loved the way the table looked. It was all so neat. And you too can check out your kitchen table. How many forks and spoons do you have out? You want to go around your table and count those. And your plates. The food and the cake made the party a delight. Everyone was laughing and eating through the night. Mommy enjoyed her birthday. It was so much fun. Angie couldn't believe the night was almost done. As the party ended, Angie started to recall all the numbers she counted throughout the day. Numbers are a part of life, it is easy to say. Counting, adding, and subtracting is true. Numbers are just so very cool. The family finally gathered to relax on that memorable night. They sat on the couch feeling so right. She ran and jumped in her favorite spot too. It was between her mom and dad. It had the best view. This was the end of a perfect day. She loved her family in every way. She thought to herself, one more count before the night is through. She counted her family, including Kitty too. She started to count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Her family was full of love. This was true. Mommy plus Daddy plus Alec and Kitty too. Together they created her favorite number of the night. Love plus her family equaled a heart filled with happiness, warmth, and delight. And that's the end of the story. And now in the back of the book, as always, I always put Angie's activities. And not that we're going to go over them, but there's really cool activities for you to complete as well, because it's all about math. And I wanted you to experience the math, like counting the donuts, counting the stars, skip counting, 10 frames. You've probably seen those before. Find the missing number. And that's it. And this is the back of my book. And my book can be found on Amazon and, of course, at angiewonders.com. And if you have time, you have the QR code there as well. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed my book. I loved sharing it with you. Thank you so very much.
I love that. And definitely leave the QR code up while we're talking, because I feel like,
Yes.
first of all, QR codes are so hot now.
Yes, definitely.
Now that that COVID kind of, we don't want to touch anything. So
yeah, so you're like,
I don't want to touch a menu. Now you do your QR code. So that's fantastic. And we highly recommend that you go to order the books. They're amazing. We were talking about it before. It's empowering women, empowering girls to understand. It's educational.
yes.
It's, there's every yes you want in a book for your child. This is great. And we were talking about, for us at the Book Fairies, we always want the children that we serve to see somebody who mirrors them. So you were saying that, if you wanted to tell them about the story about, you had a tutor, and she was like, the little girl was like,
yes. One of the organizations that used my book, she was explaining to me over the weekend. I was talking to her, and she said that she was tutoring a little girl, and as they were starting to go over, and she brought the book out, and she was like, oh, she looks like me. She looks like me. And that just set the tone for the rest of the book, because she wanted to learn more. She wanted to read about Angie.
absolutely.
What was Angie learning about the microscope and so forth. So it was just amazing. That's my other book, The Microscope Fun. And she was just so excited to see a little girl that looked like her learning about a microscope.
So important. It's so
Yes.
important, right? It's so important.
Yes.
Not only to see, we talked about people seeing themselves, but also being able to see into other people's lifestyles and what they do, and
Yes.
just really having people to understand the differences that we all have, but we all have similarities in when it comes down to it.
So true.
That's
So
awesome.
true. Yes.
Erin wanted to know, what grade did you teach?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I started off as an English teacher in the middle school. I taught 7th grade and I taught 8th grade. And yeah, so I worked in the middle school for most of the time. And now I'm an administrator in the elementary age.
Awesome. So you're literally doing it in class and giving the gift of literacy to others outside of the
Yes.
classroom. So
Yes.
God bless you for everything you're doing. Do the characters take after your family?
Yes, they do. Yeah, especially this particular book. I was really able to add the rest of my family into the book. So we have my husband there. So he's been there with his glasses on. And then, of course, my son, who's older, Alec, he's in there as well. And then, of course, we have Angelina, which is Angie. And then I even added my kitty, which is Rocky. So we just call him Kitty, but he looks just like Rocky. But we made sure he was gray like Rocky. And yeah, so Rocky's in the book as well. So yes, my entire family is in there. And I wanted to share that with everyone. Yeah, I think also it hit because of what we were going through and everything. So the family love was so important during this time. And I wanted to highlight that in this book.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. was it fun to work with the illustrator?
Yes, yes. And so, you know, the illustrator, finding illustrator is always the one of the more difficult parts of for me in terms of writing, and finding someone that, you know, was able to follow my vision, meet my vision, and then constantly work with me to create the energy and the love and the feeling and the concepts that I want to convey in my story. And so with my illustrator Nana, he was great. You know, we conversed a lot through messages, and really talked to each other in terms of where I wanted this to go and what he was able to convey through his illustrations. So yes, it was a lot of fun, because you know what it's like, you're seeing your thoughts, you know, be created on paper. So it's just an amazing experience. So if anyone's thinking about writing or creating something, you should really go for it, because it's one of the most amazing experiences when you have something in your head, you put it on paper, and then someone helps you to make it come to life. And that's really what it is. So yes, a wonderful experience working with my illustrator.
And I found it interesting that he was from a totally different country. You never met in person, but still
Right.
you were able to connect on that level where
Yes.
he understood what you, and was there a language barrier, right?
No, not
No?
at all. No, no.
Okay.
He was, you know, he was able
Okay.
to, yeah, he
Okay.
understood everything.
So,
So it was great.
you know, he captured it. I mean, she's adorable. I mean, the
Oh,
character itself is adorable.
thank you.
So bravo on that. Um,
Thank you.
how long did it take you to write any of the books?
Okay. So my first book, you know, being my initial brainchild, I guess, you know, in terms of what happened with What is the Sun, it was my first book. You know, I had attended a workshop with the Anti-Defamation League, and kind of heard about this whole um, unfortunately, the statistic that our girls don't really see themselves as scientists. You know, they see men as scientists. And I was like, wow, I got to fix that. So I kind of, you know, thought about it, I, you know, mulled on it, and I woke up, and I think from the time I had the idea that I was going to write a book and kind of target that area, I think it was like 3 weeks in terms of writing the manuscript, like leaving it alone, coming back to it, and then, you know, kind of revising it. And then after that, the longer process was, of course, with the illustrator. You know, that took a while, and then that whole piece there. So normally it takes me about 2 to 3 weeks to write the book, and I always leave it alone a little bit, and then come back to it, and then read it again, and maybe make some changes on it, because it is, I always try to, you know, I used to tell my students this too, as an English teacher, that, you know, you want to revise it, you know, and you want to look at your work with new eyes, with fresh eyes, you know. So a lot of times I will leave it alone, and I will come back to it, and, you know, maybe tweak things over and change what I, you know, what I had originally written. But that's okay, that's the writing process. So about 2 to 3 weeks in terms of my writing.
That's great. One of the other authors actually had a similar question, and she said she actually has a group of other writers that she presents the book to. She was actually
Oh,
an
that's
adult writer,
cool.
and
Right.
you know, they would kind of give her feedback. And I said that's the hardest part for kids to understand. Even as adults, it's hard to understand
Yes.
when you get constructive feedback. To understand, to just
Yes.
say it's to make you better. It's to make you a better
Yes.
writer. It's to make you a better
Right.
student. To make you better across the board. And that's a very hard thing to accept sometimes, but as a writer
Yes.
you kind of have to do that. So that's
Yes.
interesting that you pull back yourself and you do that, so that's great.
Yes,
um
without a doubt.
what advice do you have for young writers? Hmm.
Oh, that's great. That's a great question. You know, I think that one of the biggest things that I can convey to you is to believe in yourself, to
Mhm.
believe in your story, believe in what you want to share with someone else, you know,
Mhm.
and to take steps to put it on paper. Because a lot of times as writers, as inspiring writers, you know, as aspiring writers, we often have these thoughts, we have these concepts, but it's about putting it on paper. And, you know, if you just take a little time, take out a notebook, just jot it down, just let your ideas flow. And I always talk about that in terms like just brainstorming, you know, and don't put any limits on what you're writing. Just go for it. Just put it down on paper, you know, and to always have that belief that, you know, what I'm saying needs to be heard. You know, what I'm saying is special because it comes from me, you
Mhm.
know. So as a student, as aspiring writer, just believe in yourself, put it on paper, and know that your story or your words need to be heard and need to be read.
Everybody has a voice, and
Everyone has a voice. That's right.
sometimes, you know, for you, your voice is actually been transcribed into books and you're able to share it with the world. But sometimes your voice, sometimes you just need to get it onto paper for yourself. So you feel like,
Yes,
you know, you're getting it out. Sometimes you need to share it with your friends and your family. Everybody has a voice. Nobody's alone.
yes,
And,
yes,
you know, everybody has a right to feel the way they feel and feel
yep,
validated. Uh,
yes, without a doubt. And that's important. Just know that your words need to be heard. It's so true, so true.
yeah, that's perfect. Will there be any more Angie books? Hope so.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, there will be. I'm excited. And after I finish, and I was conveying this to you a little earlier, that after I finish the book, after I finish writing the book, and I haven't seen it go to print yet, I'm like, okay, I'm done. This is it. I got my third book. I'm good. And then once I see it and I hold it, and I'm like, I get so excited. And I said, that's it. I'm doing another book. So yes, there will be another Angie Wonders book. And this one is going to be about coding, because I think it's essential that as young girls, we get into coding. We get to experience writing code, learning code, and just, opening up that world of computers to us and computer talk.
Right, great. Well, we can't wait till the next one. So this is your second time back. Hopefully you'll be back next year with your new book. So
Yes,
that will be great.
yes, I hope so too. I definitely hope so.
We love it. You're a great asset. What was your daughter's favorite subject when she was Angie's age? That's interesting.
Ooh, okay. When she was Angie's age, when she was in elementary school, I think she always liked math. She's still a math girl. She still enjoys math.
Mhm.
Even now, she's taking AP courses and stuff. I still don't know how she's doing it, but she's great. She
That's
enjoys
great.
math. She loves figuring things out. So I think when she was an elementary age child, she loved math, and I got to tell you, she loved gym too.
Oh,
There you go.
all right. Listen, maybe she'll be an astronaut. She'll be
Yeah,
love
right.
math and be physically fit. That's a good combination.
Exactly,
We
exactly,
got women doing
exactly.
all sorts of stuff right now, so go for it.
It's so right, woman power, girl power, all the way. That's what I try to promote all the way. We can
We
do
can do
anything,
anything we put our
anything,
minds to.
anything.
And we were talking before about that. Clearly, you said this is um, after your children, and Angie is after your daughter. What was their reaction when they realized that it was almost like their likeness, and
Yes.
also that they inspired you to do these books? What was their reaction to that?
Initially, when Angelina, found out that I was doing the book about her, she was like, "Wow, oh my goodness," she was very taken aback, and she's like, "Wow, of course you're gonna do one about me." That's the little girl. She's like,
Mhm.
"Yes, of course you're gonna do one about me. I'm your daughter, and I know I'm amazing, and you're gonna put a book out there." Like, she was just being funny, but she was very excited. She was very, very excited. And this year, of course, with this book, with the rest of my family, my son, and everyone was just very, very very happy to see themselves in the book as well. And I kind of promised different people. I'm like, I told my niece, next book, I'm going to have you in it. So it's exciting for them to even see themselves in a likeness, in the book.
Absolutely. I don't know
Right.
anybody who wouldn't, and who wouldn't want it.
Right, in a cartoon
It's a
book. Yeah.
compliment of some type.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and so how old was your daughter when you started writing about Angie? Was she around the
Oh,
same age? Is that where you got that from, or?
no, no, no. She was actually so 3 years ago. So she was like 12. Yeah.
Oh,
She was 12. Yeah. And I started writing the elementary age books. But I always knew that I just, talking to my daughter and talking to her friends and stuff, I just really realized that I need the girls to continue with their mindset and to believe in themselves, and just to keep moving forward and know that the world is limitless for them. And
yeah.
so that really inspired me to even, write this book even more, because I didn't want things to change. And I know that statistically things do change for the girls as they get older into high school. They stop thinking about STEM and, taking those advanced courses. So I knew how
Mhm.
important it was to continue that mindset.
That's great. And giving them, opportunities to see them as they're younger. And we need
Yes.
to keep that up. I know for us with the books, sometimes the middle school, we weren't getting as many requests for middle school books.
Right.
But that's like to me the most important time, like
Yes.
I shouldn't say the most important time. There's key seasons, and
Yes,
you just
yes,
need to keep it up, keep hammering it home, and make sure
yes,
that they know how to read in the early years, but keep them reading as we're moving on.
right,
So it's great that you kind of recognize that as
right.
well.
And just finding real sincere areas of interest for them,
Yes,
and just really allowing them to grow in those areas,
I
so
couldn't agree
important with the
more.
reading.
I have to
Mhm.
say that Suzanne Doherty, who's been watching, said she loves that quote, explore and be more.
Yes,
Where,
yes.
what made, what triggered that? Like what?
It just kind of flowed. It's my tagline for, for
Yeah,
the business, for the book, explore and be more. I don't know, it just came to me. A lot of this stuff just comes to me, and I just felt it was so important to continue saying that. And that's what I say to all the girls. I say it in the books, explore and be more. And that's what I want you to do consistently for our girls to be able to explore the world, explore themselves, just know
yeah,
more about who they are as individuals. And when they know about who they are as individuals, they can be more. And then, of course, outwardly knowing, kind of stepping out of their comfort zones to explore. And of course, being more in that area too. So it just fits. It
that's
completely fits
awesome.
into
And I have
our
to
book.
say, you remind me of next week we have another Renee author, but she's the executive director of Girls Inc.
Yes,
And
yes, yes,
Renee,
yes, I know.
another amazing organization that we work with that we love and happy to promote because they really do great stuff for girls and they work with STEM and just, having a voice and giving them an opportunity and a place to go and really feel like they're doing it.
So
One
important.
question, what was the book that you read, like your favorite book that you read to your children when they were younger?
Oh, oh my goodness, why can't I remember this now? Um, well, for my son, it was
Mhm.
Giraffes Can't Dance.
Okay.
Giraffes Can't Dance. That was one of my favorite books. And I think I read that to my Angelina too, because my son, there's such an age difference,
Hmm.
7 years difference. So I kept that book and I shared that with her too. And again, that was my favorite book, Giraffes Can't Dance, because I think the story in there, I don't know if you're familiar with that, about, the giraffe couldn't dance until he found music that fit him, that fit his heart, you know, and then he was able to dance. In the beginning, they were like making fun of him because he couldn't, but then he finally found the music that spoke to his soul, and he was able to dance, and I thought that was such a deep and beautiful message for children to understand that, they just have to find the music that they love, everyone's different. And so I thought that was so beautiful. And that's why I shared it with both my children. That's one of my favorite books.
Wow.
Unbelievable book.
Maybe it was the inspiration for your son. I love that.
Yes, 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 right.
I know, like I'm thinking that's like a good tie-in.
Yeah.
And that's so funny. And one question was, with COVID, especially as an educator and somebody who's been in the trenches for
Yes.
the last year dealing with, educational issues, did that impact, you just said you were writing the book, or were you writing during the time, or did it stop, you were so focused on the business of education?
Yeah, I was focused on the business of education at that
Mhm.
time because it was so all consuming, in terms of what we were doing as administrators and as educators, just really, our meetings were running from the morning to the afternoon. It was just a lot more than what the usual day would encompass. So for me, no, I wasn't writing. It wasn't until I felt lighter in my energy that I was able to come back to it and actually put my love and energy into it, but during the throes of the pandemic, no, I didn't, it wasn't happening for me because it needs to speak from your spirit.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I have to thank you for being an amazing educator and a teacher,
Oh,
and for all that you went through to make sure our scholars and our children are learning to read and learning all the basics that they needed over this last year. COVID really challenged educators beyond anything I think you ever signed up for when you
no, I
became a
know. Oh
teacher
my
or an
goodness.
administrator. And
Yes.
I don't think that we can recognize you enough for that. In just first and foremost, and thank you for giving us the gift of Angie Wonders. She's
Thank you.
adorable. I
Thank
think
you.
she can empower so many children that get this book in their hands. They will love to see themselves in this book, and they'll know that they can do anything. The world
Yes.
is an oyster, like it's open to all of us, and we
Yes.
just need to let kids know that. But the last thing I always say is that reading is essential, and it starts with a book. And a book
Yes.
like this can really take a kid to another world. So thank
Yes,
you for
without a
that.
doubt. Without
Thank
a
you for
doubt.
this, for coming this year. We hope you'll come back next year.
Thank
And
you.
I always end with thanking our sponsors. And we have Mar-a-Lago Security is, again, I think I explained to you before, our founders own Mar-a-Lago Security, her family, and they donate our warehouse. We would not exist if we weren't able to take in the books in the rate that we do. And Mar-a-Lago has been phenomenal to us. PC Richard, another great supporter of ours for a number of years now. Serena and Associates, they're our monthly donors, plus they support the readathon to levels nobody wants to know about. It's unbelievable. Investors Bank is our honoree is Mike Billia. So and Investors Bank, every Investors Bank right now is collecting books from us. So if you want to donate books and you're not near Freeport, you can go to their website and look for location and consider, going there. And then Jovia Financial, also another yearly sponsor of ours. So we wouldn't exist if we didn't have funding. We wouldn't be able to give amazing books like Angie Wonders, go out to anybody. So we need to keep funding our organization. Thank you so much. We hope to have you back, and wishing you lots of success on this and the next book and the one after that, because I'm calling it.
Oh, thank you. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thanks
Be
so
well.
much. Have a great night, everyone.
You too. Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.
Bye.